What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian.
And I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you.
Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues.
BlueNote Hockey Fan Report. Aloha and mahalo. I am Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and this is the show that's all about you. That's right. We talk hockey for you and about you. Let us know what you think. Where are my hockey people at? We are cracking today. Cracking. Yes, Tammy, you are correct. It is a very sad day in the world of hockey. Just last week, we lost Mike Bossy, one of the prolific goal scorers, and then today we lost Guy Lafleur at the age of 70, also due to a battle with lung cancer. It was kind of a funny story, I can say. So when I woke up this morning, again, I'm 5 hours behind, 6 hours behind the East Coast. I wake up this morning and in one of my hockey chats on Full Press Hockey, it said Guy was dead. I'm looking at myself and pinching my, going, I don't think so. Then I kind of got more into reading it, and it was Guy Lafleur. Remember that, and actually it was a couple of people have told me this and showed me this. The name Guy comes from the French Guido, right? And it was Guido Fawkes, who was part of Guy Fawkes Day, or the Gunpowder Revolution in England. And because he was Guido, it got shortened to Guy or Guy. And the English spelling of E is G-U-I. The pronunciation is G-I-E. And that, so, I've been called, if you've heard some of the players on here, some of the Canadians have called me Guy, right? So that's what that is. Guy Lafleur from the, actually he was the second Hall of Famer to ever play in the NHL. And there's now been 3. Oh, actually, and I know this is going to freak people out, but in all actuality, only 3 Hall of Famers have ever played in the NHL. I wonder if any people, who knows what I'm talking about, right? Only 3 Hall of Famers have played in the NHL. Only 3. Guy Lafleur is one of them. I wonder if anybody knows who the other 2 is. I know it's been out there in a few articles and that. So it might come up and see if you know what I'm talking about. I'm waiting for someone to tell me how wrong I am. Nope, but in all actuality, only 3 Hall of Famers have played in the NHL. Let's see if someone gets where I'm going with this. We'll wait and see. So right now, the Wild are hosting the Kraken, and the Kraken are up 2-1. They've had a good game. The Kraken have had a good game. They were outshot 7-10 in the first, but they caught Fleury outside of the net. Well, so much for that. It's now 2-2. As soon as I talk about it, frickin' Kraken, they just screwed us. Come on, Kraken. All right, we need you today. We absolutely need you today, and why are you doing that? No, I don't. Not in the least bit. Not even close, my friend. Yes, Tammy, I just saw that. I just saw that. What a beautiful shot too. Grubauer had no chance. Great pass. I mean, when you pass like that, you might as well just forget it. And that was Fiala. God, I love this guy. I hate him and love him all at the same time. Someone's see. That's the thing. The pressure's on the Wild, not on us, because they control their own destiny. But their own destiny is one loss, and that goes away, right? So it puts a lot of pressure on the Wild. They have to win, right? And there are teams out there that are going to fight back. They're going to fight hard. I don't think this game is over. I don't think it's over. I think that the Kraken have played very, very well. Not sure what you're asking there, Lee. Guido? Lee? Where are we at? Hopefully we get some more of these people joining us on the Hockey Fan Report. I don't know if Ashley or Lance will be along. I sent them the link. We'll see. I was hoping maybe Dante would show up, but maybe he went back to work. I don't know if he's over his quarantine yet or not. So many ums. I gotta watch that. Well, we are looking at what's going on tomorrow in the NHL. We've got the Blues going hunting for coyotes. Looking at the Yotes. It'll be a good game. I really do. Do you think the Wild will tire themselves out fighting for second, only to face a solid, heavy Blues team in round one coming up? Well, okay. I want to break this down a little bit, Ryan. Do you think that the Wild will tire themselves out fighting for second? They could, right? I mean, they're a good team. They've been a good team all year long. They're at 49 wins. They're probably going to get to 50. They got 5 games left, including today. So the chance of them getting 50 wins, yeah, they're going to get it. Will they tire themselves out? I don't completely agree with that. Possible. Fighting for second, yes, they are. Face a solid, heavy Blues team. I don't think we're as solid or as heavy as everyone thinks we are, right? This is not the 19 team. This is not that go knock them down, beat them up, drag them out team. This team has gotten a little bit more finesse to it. It's gotten a little more speed. It's gotten a lot more offensive than it has. And I just don't think that they're a heavy team. I think that teams are going to have to really be concerned with this, and not so much the speed, but the finesse and the offensive prowess of the Blues. And Lance, can you see the question, buddy?
No, I can't.
Okay, the question is, do you think the Wild will tire themselves out fighting for second, only to face a solid, heavy Blues team in the first round coming up?
No, I don't, because I think the Wild are looking at it the same way the Blues are, that let's not worry about home ice advantage. Let's go into the playoffs healthy. Let's go into the playoffs on a roll. And I don't think they're really looking at it. It's and the stuff about the heavy team, I agree with you, Guy. We don't have a heavy team anymore. This team has transitioned, and it's taken Berube a while to figure it out. I think he should have done it last year, and maybe even at the end of the previous season when we lost to the Canucks in the playoffs. I think that he's starting to learn, hopefully. Yeah. But yeah, this team's not heavy, and I don't think either team is dying. It's going to kill themselves to get that home ice advantage, just like teams shouldn't kill themselves to get the President's Cup, because it never works out for them.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on there. I don't think this is that heavy team that it used to be. They still have some heaviness to them, but it's not what they are. They have like you said, transition to more of a finesse team, more of an offensive team, right? And well, home ice may or may not mean anything. Every year it's different, right? Every year it really is different. And actually, until last season, They went 6 or 7 years. I think you had all the way back to like 2012 before a team won the cup on home ice.
Yeah, and the Blues won the cup, and they didn't have home ice advantage in 3 of the 4 rounds. So,
Right?
it doesn't. Everybody thought Boston, and I remember the announcer saying the Blues are good, and it's going to go 6 or 7 teams, but Boston's going to win because they got home ice advantage. Years ago, I think it may have mattered more than today.
Yeah.
But I don't think it really matters much anymore to most teams.
Well, here's the problem with that. I think when it comes down to it, if you wanted to say in a normal series that Boston had the advantage because they had home ice in a 6 or 7 game series, I would absolutely agree with you. However, they were playing a team that hadn't been in the finals in 49 years, right? So you're playing a team in 2019 that was last in the series or in the finals in 1970, and it was against Boston. You knew that there was going to be a large contingency of Blues fans that were going to figure out a way to get to Boston for Game 7. That took away some of that. I mean, you heard as much cheering when the Blues scored as you did when the Boston scored, right? At the end of the game, you've seen a lot of Blues fans there at Game 7, the experience. So there's a lot of that had to do with taking that home ice away from Boston, to me.
Yeah, in today's game, a lot of teams travel well. That means their fans travel with them, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, you'll see 4,000 to 5,000 fans from the other team show up in a 18-seat arena for the playoffs, and people might not think 4,000 people isn't a lot compared to 14,000, but if you get a vocal 4,000,
oh yeah, it's a lot. I've been there.
Yeah.
When I went to the Sharks game, there was the 2016 Western Conference Final, Game 4. There was probably a good 4,000 Blues fans there, and they were loud. They were loud. Well, okay, I don't want to go in there. I think that the Blues play on the road had very little to do with it, right? I think that this team, I think the reason that the Blues in 19 excelled on the road was the expectations of home were not on them. I think the expectations of home weighed very, very heavy on them, right? I think you saw that in Game 6 against Dallas, or Game 7 against Dallas. I think you saw it in Games 3 and 4 against Winnipeg. I know you saw it in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals, right? The only series that the Blues were the away team that I didn't think that I think they played better at home than they did away was the conference finals, right? They played much better against San Jose at home than they did away, right? And that all comes down to the hand pass, right? That all comes down to that hand pass in Game 4, right? That hand pass in Game 4 was everything, because you got to remember, the Blues won Game 1, lost Game 2, won Game 3, lost Game 4, and then won Games 5 and 6. Well, they won is that right? No, I might have that wrong because it went 6. I know they won one game like really, really tight, and then they blew the 2 open. Like the hand pass game they lost. The next one was like a 2-1 or a 3-1 game. It was a close game, and then the games 5 and 6 were just. So I think they won 3. I think they won 3 or 4, 5, and 6. They won 3 in a row. I don't think they lost a game after the hand pass.
Are you talking about the hand pass with San Jose and
yeah?
The Blues didn't win that game. San Jose did.
And I know. I'm saying in that series, they
Oh,
won. After the hand pass, they didn't lose another game,
no, they didn't. No.
right?
And
So the
they
hand
just-
pass had to be game 3 in St. Louis, right?
Yep.
So they were down. That was the first time they were down in a series. They were down 2-1 after the hand pass.
Mm-hmm.
So much for the Kraken. It's now the Wild just scored a power play goal. It is now 3-2 Wild. I thought the Kraken came out in this game playing really, really well. Minnesota, I guess Minnesota did what the Blues did. You know, let them come out and get their game on, figure out what it is, and go from there. So Blues won game 1. Sharks won game 2. Sharks won game 3, which was the hand pass. Blues won game 4, and that was a close one. That was like 2-1, something like that. And then they blew them out in games 5 and 6. Right? I think 5 was a shutout, and 6 they gave up 1 goal.
Mm-hmm.
Right, if I remember correctly. So really, the only series that the Blues played very, very well at home was that series.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They only lost the 1 game at home. They lost game 3 at home and then, won the other ones. That was the only series they won at home. If I remember right. Yeah, that was the only series they won at home. No. They won they won that away because they won it in 6. The only one they won at home was the Dallas one.
Yeah.
Right? No.
Mm-hmm.
No. They won game 6 at home. They won. That was a game 6. Oh, man. Yeah, game 6, they won that one at home. So they won two series they won at home, 2 series they won away. I got to think here. They won the San Jose series and the Dallas series at home. All right, I got it right now.
Yeah, because Boston, the Blues played game 6 at home and laid a big fart at home.
Oh my goodness, did you?
Yeah, the Blues could have won it at home, in 6 games, but they let Boston really beat them up in that 6th game.
Ryan, you're absolutely right. That is how I think. That is absolutely how I think when I'm not sure of something. I go back and forth with myself trying to figure it out. Right? And if I don't know something, I don't let go of it. I keep going and going until I figure it out. E says, who cares about other games? Just focus on our game, just like you preach to the players. Yeah, yes and no. I mean, there's, E, some of this is for the fans, right? Some of this is for the fans. Man, I don't know, E, you're getting a little chippy here lately, buddy. I like it, but I just think some of this is for the fans. I think that it adds an element to these games that wasn't going to be there, right? It adds an element of excitement. It adds an element of fun and of mystery to it. That's what makes the playoff positioning is what makes the second season so much fun in my eyes. You know what, Tammy? I don't know if they are or not. Berube sounds like he is, to be honest with you. But because drama sells newspapers and drama gets people watching my show. The more people that watch my show, the more money I make. The more money I make, the more money I can pay you and me. Plain and simple. I mean, it doesn't get any more simple than that, right? Right, Lance?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now I would love to be able to pay myself and pay E. I'd love to be able to do that. If I got to add drama to get people to watch a show, I add drama to get people to watch a show. Right? I mean, I'm as honest as I think. I think it was Thomas that said they pay attention when they're not playing. Oh, I think they all do, but I think they all do. Right? I really, Tammy, I think they all do.
Yeah, and
these guys.
I know for a fact that a lot of NHL players, I'm not going to say all of them, a lot of them on their nights off are on nights where they play an early game. Some of the guys will sit down and relax afterwards, especially if they're at home, and they'll watch other NHL games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's scouting. That's how you scout. It's things you can catch, right? Absolutely, they do. And it's just like when something happens in the sports world, these guys are commenting on it and that. And well, let's talk a little bit about what happened today. Guy Lafleur, 5-time Stanley Cup champion with the Montreal Canadiens, passed away after a 3-year battle with lung cancer. His wife and his sister both posted on Twitter today, kind of broke the news. So I woke up and looked at one of my full press chats, and it said Guy has died. I'm like pinching myself, trying to figure out, what's going on. And then, I look a little further down and it said Guy Lafleur, but I'm like, wow, what's going on? And I was kind of surprised. And I kind of went into how the name Guy came about. Right. But Guy Lafleur was one of those guys. He was one of the pre-helmet guys, but he was the precursor to Gretzky. Him and Bossy were the precursor to Gretzky. So where the league started changing, where guys started scoring all these goals, it started getting away from the defense of it. The offense started becoming more prominent. And Guy Lafleur was one of those guys that was part of that. Lance?
Yeah, I'm sorry. He was, and I remember seeing the Blues play Montreal. I think it was 77-78 or 76-77 in the playoffs. And I think that's what it was. I might be wrong, but I remember seeing them play, and that was the year that Montreal went 68-12. Yes, that's right. 60 wins, 8 losses, and 12 ties. They were a juggernaut that year. And I always remember just watching him skate, and he just did it so effortlessly. Some guys, it looks like they're struggling to skate, and he just glid on the ice and had great movement and great vision. And when I think of hockey players that had great hair, especially before the helmet era, I think of Gary Unger and Guy Lafleur and Ron Duguay. Those guys all had great flowing hair.
Yep. I mean, you could see it when they were skating. It was flying back. Yeah. We've seen video of Gary's hair going back in that.
And he wasn't a big guy. He wasn't tiny, but he this guy, I don't know if you ever got to watch him play, but it was just effort. It was just so effortless. It was so effortlessly. It looked like he was born on skates, and he just always knew what to do with the puck. And that year the Blues weren't real good, but it was still fun to see teams like Montreal come in and play the Blues. And even if the Blues lost, it was still, I always loved seeing other teams because of their jerseys. We all know that's back when the away teams wore their dark jerseys, which I miss a lot. But it was just fun to watch the guy play, and it's really sad we've lost Mike Bossy, and we've lost Guy Lafleur, and I hate to say it, guys, but I think a lot of people will agree with me. It happens in threes, so be careful. You never know who could go next.
Yeah, I just hope it's not one of ours, because we've got a couple of guys that are getting up there in age. I'll tell you what, the one that I think the next big Blue that unfortunately I think we're going to lose is going to be Red.
Oh, right? Probably.
Right. I mean, he's 89. Yeah. Well, him and Hall. Right. Though I'm not sure where Hall is on the ranking of Blues players. I mean,
Brett Hall?
No,
Glenn Hall.
Glenn Hall.
Oh yeah, right? He's pretty old.
Yeah, but see, Glenn Hall, I think more people are gonna see him being. I think he was on. Wasn't he with the Blackhawks for a while?
He was with several good teams. He came to the Blues towards the end of his career, just like Jacques Plante.
Yeah, him and Plante came at the end of their career. Yeah. So, I mean, Hall did something that I think he was the first player to do this. He was the first player from the losing team to win the Conn Smythe. Right? I want to say it's happened 6 times now. I know a Ducks player won it one year. A Ducks goalie. I think it's been all goalies and one defenseman that have won that. Won the Conn Smythe on a losing team.
It hasn't happened very often.
No, it's I think it's only happened 6 times. Hall in That series when so they went 4-0, 4-0, 0-4 again in that 68, 69, the 69 playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were a juggernaut. They just didn't have the offensiveness to beat Montreal, but those were all 1-goal games, right? All four of those games were 1-goal games. So I mean, that's why Hall ends
Even
up
against
winning the Conn
Boston,
Smythe.
yeah, even against Boston that one year when they lost on that great goal by Bobby Orr, you know, they weren't necessarily all close games, but they actually, if you look at the score of some of those games, they don't look real close, but they were much closer than they looked.
Yeah. It was not Guy Hebert. It was not Guy Hebert.
No,
it was
not
their other goalie. I can't remember his name right
Nope.
off the top of my head. But oh, excuse me. Oh, wow, that was a brain fart, a real brain fart, man. Uh, no, I guess I kind of lost what I was thinking about. No, we're gonna unfortunately now we're gonna lose some big guys. We're getting into the to the 80s guys now, the guys that played in the late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s. We're gonna start, unfortunately in the next couple of years getting into the guys that played in the 90s, right? That they're getting up there. You look at Brett Hull is in his almost just short of 60. You got guys like that. We have Unger, Duke. These guys are all in their mid 70s. Unfortunately, at some point, Bruce Affleck. And I love the guy, and I hope he's around for a real long time. But they're all getting up there in age, but they're all great guys. They're all great. Yep. Great guys. And speaking of guys, when we play Anaheim now, we've got another facet added to that game. That's Ryan Getzlaf's last game.
Yep.
Right. That's gonna put. I mean that again. It goes one of two ways. Either you play really really good or you play really really bad. There's no in between. Yeah. Here it was. I thought Kraken were going to help us. It's 4-2 right now. So, Minnesota's going to have. We're going to just have to keep winning and see what happens. Might make it 5-2. Wow. Grubauer. I don't know why Grubauer ever went to Seattle.
It's all about greenbacks. It's all about the dollars, buddy, with him.
Yeah. I mean, but that didn't. I mean, this unless he has a rebound next year, and I don't see them having enough to rebound next year. It's hurting his career. We win the cup again. Look for all the time.
I tell you,
I don't think if the Blues win the cup again, I don't think you'll get. I don't think you'll get the celebration out of the guys that you got for the first one.
I don't know. These guys, a lot of them stayed around town, and a lot of them still look at this team as their team. It may not be as many of them, but I will guarantee you this: just like last time, they had to put out an APB on Brett Hull, his teammates did, because he was there at the ceremony and they couldn't find him for a day or two. I can tell you what he was doing. He was drinking.
Oh yeah, he was. Well, I mean, there's video of him at 2:30 in the morning walking down the parade route.
Yep.
Right. Oh, I'd have been out there with a tent set up. I knew, even if I knew it was going to rain, because it rained that morning, I'd have had a tent set up. I'd have had me stalked out. I'd actually had two tents set up. I'd have had one set up on the parade route, and then I'd had somebody else on the arch grounds. Right?
Yep.
Right? Getting me as close as possible. Absolutely would have done that.
Guy, I know what you would have done. You'd have had a tent set up. You'd have had a pig under the ground with the leaves over it. You'd be making some Kahlua pig.
Probably not, but I think that might be going too far. But I might have had a barbecue pit out there. Might have had a barbecue pit out there. Had a little, had some fire going. Absolutely, And Tanner's absolutely right. You can't even stand to be wrong with yourself. No, I cannot. Oh, my fans, you gotta love it. So we are facing the Yotes tomorrow. I think it is at 9:00 Hawaii time. I could be wrong. Let me double check. Or St. Louis time, not Hawaii time. God, I can't even. Oh, that game is at. Let's see here. 4 p.m. my time, so that should be 9 p.m. your time. Yes. So 9 p.m. So 3:30, 8:30 p.m. St. Louis time will be the pregame show. This is the Blues are three wins away from 50. They need to win 3 out of 4. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Do they get it?
Huh?
Do they get 50?
I think so.
Right. I'm with you. I can see 3 wins out of the next 4. Right. I really can. I can see 3 wins out of the next 4. I can almost see 4 wins out of the next 4, to be honest with you.
Could be.
Right. I'll tell you, the game that's in question to me is going to be the Knights game, right? Because that's all going to, where the Knights going to be at. You called me Chippy. That was actually pretty funny, and I like that. You remember? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it. It's funny as heck. I'm not really concerned about the Knights, especially with the rumors flying around. And one station says yes, the other station says no. My people say yes, that he's definitely going to have season-ending surgery at Leonard, or he's already had it.
Who?
Leonard, Robin Leonard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they asked the coach today, what's his name? DeBoer, whatever his name is for. They asked him about Robin Leonard, why he wasn't around. And they said, well, I expect him tomorrow. And then I got a call from one of my buddies out there, and they said that he's had surgery, or he's having it tonight, and his season's over.
Wow. Right. I feel so. I like the guy. I like Robin Leonard, but man, he's out there a little bit, and that's fine. Bit. We all are. Tammy says, as crazy as it was downtown for the parade, it was magical. And I wish, oh God, I would have done anything to have been there. I would have done anything to have been there, man. I'd have sold my liver and my kidney to be there. Apparently they announced that today on the NHL Network.
Yep.
Right. So, I mean, we'll see.
I heard about it this morning. I had one person tell me no, that wasn't true. That was a rumor. And then right before the NHL announced it, I had another guy call me and tell me that it was real, that he had season-ending surgery. He hurt himself pretty bad. So.
All right. So with the man, I don't know why I'm like, I got brain fog today, so I think my fibromyalgia is acting up a bit.
It happens.
Yeah, I'm wondering with the Coyotes game. Now, the last time we played them, we beat them 5-1, right? And they've got some big injuries. They got guys that are playing for contracts. So without Clayton Keller, that's a big one. Clayton Keller usually plays really good with us. You got Stone. I don't know how he's really gonna, or not Stone. Who's the Kessel, right? I'm not really sure how Kessel's gonna play, but they, that's got to be hard to play for that on that team. Now this is the last time the Blues will play at Gila River Arena, right? And it's like the next to last time that the Coyotes are going to play there.
It's Gila, not Gila.
Gila, whatever. Whatever, leave me alone.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw that thing I posted today about how expensive their seats are going to be.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Did you see that? The most expensive seat at the Blues game, I think, is somewhere between $8,000 and $10,000 for front row, all inclusive.
It's a little more than that. I think it's a little more than that.
Well, I know you can get glass seats, the last row of glass seats for $6 something, and then row B or C is $8,000 to $9,000. They're wanting $14,000 for the first couple rows to go see the Coyotes play. And then Bettman sits back and wonders why they can't draw people. I mean, that's not the way to get people to come to your games.
No, it's not.
Their cheapest ticket's $90.
Yeah, I know, and that makes no sense. It doesn't, and I don't know what kind of deal they got, but that's just, oh my goodness, they scored again. Wow. Well, so much
Hey.
for the Kraken helping us at 6-2.
Yeah,
So,
but Guy, you didn't see this discussion I had with somebody the other day where they said that Dunn is a true solid defenseman, and I'm like, no, he's an offensive minded player that's pretty good offensively, but he's terrible defensively.
yeah, no, and you know, and we've talked about this a lot.
Yes,
Right? It came down. I'm telling you, the Tarasenko thing came down to: do we want to lose Barbashev, or do we want to lose Dunn?
mm-hmm.
If we want to lose Barbashev, we leave him unprotected. If we want to lose Dunn, we leave one of our big guys unprotected. I think the Tarasenko, with the narrative out there, we can leave him unprotected, and people are going to think it's all because of this, and it doesn't have any, you know, it doesn't look like we're protecting a player,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you know, there you have to hold your cards very close to your vest,
Mm-hmm.
right? If it had gotten out that they were leaving Tarasenko unprotected because they were trying to protect Barbashev, right? If I'm the Kraken, I say, you know what? Screw it. We want Young, but $7 million. I think we can do this for $7 million.
They already they already knew what they were going to do. They already knew who the Blues were going to protect and who they weren't. I mean, these teams do so much due diligence before the other teams put out the protected list. I mean, they know pretty well that, you know, there's not a lot of surprises when teams leave a guy unprotected.
Well, here's the other thing. Everyone looks at what the Knights did and felt that Seattle would do the same thing. Seattle didn't have to.
No,
The Knights had to, right? The Knights, the majority of their ticket sales, preseason ticket sales, were visiting fans,
mm-hmm.
right? This was before they even drafted. Where visiting fans were buying the tickets, right? So they knew that they did not have a hockey fan base built. They had to go out and win early to build that base. Now, it could bite them in the tuchus when they have the next 2 or 3 years. Bite them in the tuchus the next 2 or 3 years as they fall out of the playoffs and they have to rebuild. You know, they haven't taught their fans how to lose yet. Seattle, because of its proximity to Vancouver, had a hockey fan base already, right? They had a hockey fan base. They didn't have to worry about creating hockey fans.
And there was a minor league team there, I think the Thunderbirds, that drew pretty well too.
Yeah, so they didn't have to worry about that. So they could do what a lot of expansion teams like to do: teach your fans how to lose, right? Manage expectations, right? You teach your fans how to lose, and then when you start winning, you really get a rabid fan base built.
Yeah, I saw somebody today rate the top fans for teams. The Blues were in the third category of okay, and then there was 3 or 4 teams above them in good, which one of them I don't get. 2 of them were actually one of them was the Flames. And I've been up there to watch them play there and where the Flames play at the Saddle Dome.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's a great play to see the games, and they love their hockey. And I'd put them up there pretty high, but to say they're in the close to the top, and then they had Seattle as the best fans. You can't judge Seattle yet. But like I said, Guy, in a couple of shows ago, their fans deserve a lot because they show up every game, no matter how bad it is. They could be down 6-1, and when their team scores, they go nuts.
Yeah. No, and you give them credit for that. But that's what happens when you teach your fans how to lose.
Yep.
Right. There's There are very few. The only really good hockey fan base in the NHL in Canada, to me, is Winnipeg, right? I think the Jet fans, and you see what they do with the whiteout and all of that stuff. That you know, even on a tough season, they're filling that building up. They went without hockey for so long that it helped them create what they have now, right? Montreal, while that's a rabid fan base, they are just like Toronto. They are fair weather fans,
Yeah,
right?
and I'm going to tell you something. You've got to teach your fans to respect and understand the game. You've got to get them to know, kind of like the game, get them into it. Then you've got to get them to really understand. You know, you got to get them to respect the game, and then move them to understand the game. Because I'm going to tell you something. One of the worst fan bases, and you know, I think people will agree with me when it comes to game knowledge and how they understand the game is the Thrashers. Their fans, and I know they're rabid, but most of those people, you know,
You're
they
talking
don't
when they were in
understand the
Atlanta.
game. Yeah, they have a class for season ticket holders that explains the NHL game to them. I'm sorry, but by the time you're a season ticket holder, you
Yeah.
ought to know something about the game. And they put banners up for everything. The Predators do,
Right.
and you know,
Actually, actually, no, Shockey, I did know this. I did know that the Seattle Pilots were the first U.S. team to win the cup. How do you get fans to actually learn and respect the game? Um, okay, that's a
good
really,
question.
really good question. I mean, that's one of these. That's a really good question.
Yeah, you have to do something like the Predators do, where you have classes for people that kind of explain some of the things, and then you have little get-togethers or fan appreciation things where you explain the games. But
Yeah,
the Predators have been in the league long enough to where they shouldn't have to do
yeah,
that for the
no.
local market.
No, you know what it comes down to? You want to know how you get fans to learn and respect the game? It's your media,
Yeah,
right? It's your media. You need to make sure. If I was now, this is the one thing that Seattle probably didn't do that I thought they should have done. I would have gone out and hired one or two solid NHL reporters, right, to cover my team. But I would have told them, okay, yes, we're paying you, but we want you to cover the team fairly. It's good, it's good. When it's bad. But at the same time, explain what you're talking about. That's how that's one of the areas. The second area is your visual media, right? You've got to get some really good, solid guys that can go up there and be the guys that can talk about the game, that can be the face of the game. You're Bernie Federko. Oh wow, Seattle just doesn't care. Oh no, they're showing replays now. Okay, you've got to build that media first, right? You build that media, but the problem with and this is a problem in all aspects of sports, and the NFL probably started it more than anything else. They would tell I think it was Paul Tagliabue, right?
yep, yep.
I think it was him that would always say protect the shield. You have to protect the shield, right? That this sense of if you work for me, you can't say anything bad about me. No, that's actually you destroy what media is. Like I read an article. Here you go, right? An article on NHL.com about the Blues. So written by an NHL.com writer about the Blues. I want to see if I can pull this article up. I don't think they fixed it yet. So let me check. Right? This absolutely blew my mind. Blew my mind that this would get past an editor. Right? Now look, I know when I write stuff that there's things that I miss past editors. For the most part, I've gotten my facts straight now. I make sure that I'm better with that and I double check them. But here we go. Not that one, not that one. There we go. Here it is. They may have fixed it, but if they didn't, I mean, it's just going to go to show you. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Blues Coyotes playing in Wichita, man. The tickets are going to be so expensive for that. But hasn't someone been saying that the Blues should play in Wichita? Or the NHL should play in Wichita? Okay, they fixed it, right? But in this little article, it said the Blues will meet the division rival Minnesota Wild in the first round of the 2022 Stanley Cup playoffs. Home ice advantage is still to be determined. The Blues have won 5 straight games against Minnesota and are 9-0-1 in their last 10 regular season matchups. This will be the third postseason meeting between the clubs. Minnesota won the best-of-7 series in 6 games in 2015, while the Blues took the next series in 5 games, and it originally said in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
They've now changed it to 2017.
Mm-hmm.
But it was such a glaring mistake, you know, and in an article that's this short, you know, you got to get that right, you know.
Here's the problem, guy.
Yeah.
Problem is a lot of these papers, they're losing money because everything's online now.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys, and nothing against people like Jim Thomas. I like Jim Thomas for his baseball coverage, but Jim Thomas was never a hockey guy, and they turn him into a hockey guy, and every city does it. They just pick a writer that has zero, and I'm not saying Jim Thomas had zero experience with the Blues. I'm just using him as an example.
Oh no, he did. He told me that.
Yeah, and you know, he was around it in this area, but he didn't cover it. So
he covered the NFL. He covered the
Rams. He covered the NFL, and he did some Cardinal stuff too. And you know it. And then they say, "Oh, you're going to start covering the Blues," and then all of a sudden, and I'm not dissing on Jim. I'm not. I'm just using him as an example. All of a sudden, he's considered, and other people are considered that start the job off that way, that they have hockey knowledge, and they don't. And you can't do that. If you want somebody reporting to be unbiased and to be knowledgeable, which to me, like you said, Guy, that is the number one thing with a reporter. If they make a stat error, I don't care, but they've got to know the game and what they're talking about.
Yep, I'm with you. So actually, Chris, I'm guessing he said, you went into writing an article and realized your narrative was wrong and had to change it. Actually, yes. And you know what? I've written articles where I was going one direction, and in writing the article, that you can tell the tone of the article changes.
Mm-hmm.
That I've actually, in writing the article, convinced myself of something different. And I don't change the article. I like that thought process. And I've had people that have read a couple of my articles says, "Wow, did you change your thought process? Because it feels like you did." And I said, "Yeah, in writing the article, I did." Right.
And again, I'm not dissing on Jim Thomas because I know there's people out there thinking I am. I'm using it as an example of somebody that wrote, you know, mostly for the NFL and for another sport, and then was brought in to cover the team. So, you know, how people are today. I'm just saying I like Jim Thomas, but don't think I don't.
No. Jim Thomas is a friend of mine, so I get that.
He's a nice guy, really nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
I can't imagine, Guy. Can you imagine covering one sport and really knowing that sport? Because he did a good job with the NFL.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden have them go, "Oh, you're going to start covering hockey."
Yeah, you know what, Chris? It was funny the chirping between and Shin giving him a 1-game suspension. That was pretty cool.
Oh, did you see Maroon chirping again with Marchand?
Oh no, it was it was also I seen a thing today.
They were on the bench, Guy, and Maroon was yelling at him, and Maroon goes, "Shut up! I've got 3 cups and you don't."
That was a little while back. No, just recently, it was Maroon and Simmons.
That's right. Yep.
Right, Maroon and Simmons, and basically Maroon called Simmons soft, and then the writer, the lady, right, goes in and asks Simmons, "Are you soft?"
That's stupid.
Right. I mean, and I'm sorry. And Tim Peel spoke out to it, and she ended up blocking Tim Peel.
She ended up blocking.
But he was right.
And Guy,
I hate that's not a question you ask.
No,
you don't even know that they fought before.
No, and the thing about it is, and I hate to see it go this way, but we know how it goes. Everything online, if you say something about somebody and they're a different gender or a different race than you, then you're either sexist or racist. I saw all a bunch of women
this
get on
didn't go
there.
that way. This didn't go that
and
way.
all these women get on there and say, you're just saying that she shouldn't have asked that because she's a woman. No, I'd have been pissed if a man would have asked a question.
No one
like
should have
that.
asked that question.
Yeah,
No one should have
that's
asked
dumb.
that question.
That's
Are
stupid.
you soft? That's not a question you ask. I'm sorry. That's not a question you ask a player in between periods.
No.
Right?
You talk
It's
about
not,
the game and what's been going on with that player. You don't talk about that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I'm absolutely with you there. Well, Bud, we're coming up on that hour mark. Thanks for joining me today.
No problem.
All right, good one. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night for the Blues and Yotes.
Yep.
Got to clear my head. Might even be able to get the Arizona sports guy on. I got to send him a message, see if he's gonna be available.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him how many season tickets he's going to buy at those prices too. So.
He'll tell you none, I'm sure. Right? So, hey guys, have a great night. This is Guy the Hawaii Blues saying for Lance and Scott, saying aloha, mahalo, and we'll see you all on the next Blue Note Fan Report. Blues versus Yotes. Pregame tomorrow, 8:30 Central Daylight Time.